The following program is presented to you in the high-power stereophonic sounds of CKDU in conjunction with...
My name is Charles Hsuen and I'm your host. December 21st, 1988. 1989.
My name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome. 1990.
And welcome to our second anniversary show.
My name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome.
April 3rd, 1994. And welcome to our 6th anniversary
My
show.
name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome.
Today's date is October 18th, 2004.
Welcome to Charles' Tape Series.
Welcome to the JSC.
Welcome to an evening with Charles Hsuen.
Welcome to the Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen. CQHS Productions, celebrating 30 years in broadcasting. This is the high-power sounds of CKDU-FM 88.1 megahertz in Halifax. A good Monday evening, everyone. Today's date is February 11th, 2019. Welcome to the Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen right here on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax. I'm Charles Hsuen. I have music for you until the program closes. That's going to be down the line at 7:30 p.m. We're back once again to present to you 60 minutes of an eclectic selection of jazz and swing music as we do each and every Monday evening, and tonight is no exception. We're going to some nice Canadian sounds to start the show off, as well as some Canadian classic tunes that have graced the 20th century and beyond. Plus, the request line always up and running, 902-494-2487, and you can also stream us one of 5 ways. Stick a tune. And just to launch the Swing Arrangement, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you into the CKDU studios. We're broadcasting to you live from the Dalhousie Student Union Building in the heart of downtown Halifax. If you're picking us up on local radio, it's frequency modulation station signal, 88.1 megahertz on your FM dial. On the internet at CKDU.ca, on Bella Line Digital TV Channel 796, East Link Digital TV Channel 951. You can also pick us up on your iPhone, iPod Touch, or iPad. Anything on the Android platform, your mobile device, on CKDU.ca and clicking the Listen Live button on your screen. Or you can also add me to Facebook on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, Twitch TV, Instagram, Twitter, and search Charles Hsuen on any of those platforms, and you'll see the video feed that you can actually watch and listen to me at the same time. If you want to call in and give me a request, you can do so at 902-494-2487. You can also email me with your request at charlesH@dal.ca. Well, as I mentioned, we are going to play some great sounds of the 20th century and beyond. I'm going to hold off on some Canadian content first and play some classic bebop. Here's Au Prévave. Here's Charlie Parker and his quintet from the compilation album Talking Bird on the Verve label to kick things off right here on the Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen.
presenting to you the best in jazz from the 20th century and beyond. You're listening to The Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen, celebrating 30 years in broadcasting.
Russell Malone. Very Wes Montgomery-like. In fact, he's a Wes Montgomery for the millennium. That was recorded on the 25th of April, 2000, and that was Russell Malone with Look Who's Here, and that's the title track on the Verve label, Norman Grantz's Verve label. And a full, I guess, I'd say 49 and a half years before that recording, we heard Charlie Parker and his quintet with the same label, Norman Grantz's Verve label, with a bebop jazz standard, Au Prévave, which was recorded 17th of January 1951. And that was a classic bebop tune with drummer Max Roach. My name is Charles Hsuen. This is the Swing Arrangement right here on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax. Hello goes out to Daniel McKay, Dave James, Jason Buller. My goodness. People from Blast from the Past, Greg Griffin, they're all on the streaming here, watching us on Facebook Live. And you can also watch us on a nicer signal on Twitch TV if you just search for Charles Hsuen, or YouTube. YouTube Live also has a good feed, and you can also watch the archive on those platforms after this program is over if you want to listen to this show once again. We're going to hear, as I mentioned in my introduction, Canadian singer Barbara Lika, who was a guest on this program a couple of years back. In Christmas time, she comes here and plays at Stainer's Wharf. She did a wonderful album in 2016 called I'm Still Learning, and this she explained on the interview when I was interviewing her about how there was a failed coffee date at a coffee shop, and she decided to write the lyrics and do this wonderful song.
I wish I was sober before you came over, but you know that this is making me nervous. I'm drunk in a cafe, you're drinking a latte, and I haven't slept a wink waiting for this date with you. Do you feel it too? You give me a cookie, there's crumbs all up on me, and there's lipstick on the tip of my nose. You're staring at me like I'm under the spotlight. The sweat is dripping down to my toes. Enjoy the view on this date with you. I just wanna dance under the lights of this coffee shop. If you just hold my hand, we'll spin round the tables till we both fall down and stop. Oh, this night would never end. Oh, tipsy and wired, feeling inspired to tell you about my Barbie collection. They're all mint in box, and I have one that talks. It feels so good to tell you my secrets. Got a few on this date with you, yeah. I just wanna dance under the lights of this coffee shop. If you just hold my hand, we'll spin round the tables till we both fall down and stop. Oh, I wish this night would never end. Of this coffee shop, if you just hold my hand, we'll spin round the tables till we both fall down. And I just wanna dance under the lights of this coffee
You're listening to The Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax, celebrating 30 years in broadcasting.
That's the Esfjord Svensson Trio from 2003. We heard that from a great album that they put out, and it was just a wonderful series of progressive jazz. 7 Days of Falling was the name of the album. In My Garage was the name of that tune. Esfjord Svensson, who passed away on a bad scuba diving accident and left his family and left a legacy of great music, even though he had only been around for 10 years in the music scene. the Esbjørn Svensson Trio. Barbara Lika to start things off, Toronto singer with Coffee Shop. I'm Still Learning was the name of that album that she recorded in 2016 from a failed coffee date. 53 minutes past 6 p.m. My name is Charles Hsuen, and this is the Swing Arrangement right here on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax. Going back to now, 1967, from a cabaret singer who I saw most recently from a live broadcast from the Lincoln Center of the Performing Arts at Dizzy's Club, I think it was called, in New York City, that overlooks Columbus Circle in Central Park on 59th Street. And this is from an album called Step to the Rear. Here is What Now, My Love? Marilyn May, who is just still going strong in her 90s, singing cabaret.
What now, my love? Now that you left me, how can I live through another day, watching my dreams turn into ashes and all my hopes into bits of clay. Once I could see, once I could feel. Now I am numb, I've become now, my love, now that it's over, I feel the world closing in on me. Here come the stars tumbling all around me, and there's the sky where the sea should be. What now? What now, my love? Now that you are gone, I'm such a fool to go on and on and on. No one to care, no one to cry. If I should live, or if I should die, what now, my love? Now there is nothing, only my last goodbye. This is my last goodbye.
Bringing to you the colors of jazz, you're listening to The Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax.
Earl Rose and his trio from the soundtrack of a documentary of Johnny Carson on PBS. And that was called Center of Attention. Before that, Marilyn May and What Now My Love. And that I'll giving tribute to Thelma Farmer, who is Kitty Farmer, who has graced this studio. We're just coming up to just 10 seconds before the BBC World News Service, and the BBC World News Service will give you the updated look at what's going on in and around the world. Here come the beeps. 7 p.m. CKDU time.
This is CKDU-FM 88.1 MHz in Halifax. From London's broadcasting house, the most trusted news source, this is the BBC World News Service.
Hello, I'm Marion Marshall with the BBC News. Opposition sources in Cameroon have said government soldiers were responsible for the burning down of a hospital in the restive southwest of the country. At least 3 people were reportedly burned alive. Will Ross reports.
The hospital in Kumba town was set ablaze in the middle of the night. Some of the patients were trapped inside. Several of the buildings were totally destroyed, their roofs caved in. The hospital had been especially vital as several other health facilities in the same district had already been forced to close because of the separatist rebellion. The government blamed previous hospital attacks on Anglophone rebels, but there have also been reports of soldiers targeting hospitals in the belief that separatist fighters were being treated there. Last week, the United States said it was stopping some of its military assistance to Cameroon over allegations of human rights violations by its security forces.
The authorities in Venezuela have opened an investigation into the private finances of the opposition leader and self-declared interim president Juan Guaidó. Mr Guaidó has the backing of more than 50 countries, including the United States, which has promised to act if he's subjected to any violence or harassment. Leonardo Rocha reports.
Venezuela's National Audit Office said it was investigating allegations that Mr Guaidó had broken the law by failing to declare all his income. The authorities say he hasn't accounted for important money transfers from national and international organizations. The announcement comes on the eve of planned demonstrations against the government of President Nicolás Maduro. The opposition is urging the government to allow the delivery of international aid for millions of Venezuelans in need. But Mr Maduro says this is part of a plot to prepare the ground for a US-led invasion.
A US-led coalition airstrike is reported to have killed a number of civilians in the last remaining pocket of territory held by the Islamic State group in Syria. The enclave near the Iraqi border is the target of an offensive by Western-backed Kurdish and Arab forces. This report from Alan Johnston.
The British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said 16 civilians were killed in the attack by US-led coalition warplanes. The victims were said to be trying to escape the fierce battle for the tiny enclave around the village of Barghuz. The coalition hasn't yet responded to the report of civilian deaths. The IS militants holding out in the area launched a counterattack early on Monday, which reportedly inflicted some casualties. Later, witnesses said the enclave came under sustained artillery and other fire.
The Islamic State group apparently close to defeat in its last stronghold in Syria, Britain's Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt has warned against any swift declaration of victory. He talked of the danger of IS re-establishing itself and said there were already concerns that this was beginning to happen in parts of Iraq. You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC.
You have been listening to the BBC World News Service, brought to you by CKDU 88.1 MHz in Halifax. Listener-supported radio.
The 8291 FM. BBC Radio 2.
What's tomorrow's weather? What's the low? What's the high? Will it be wet or dry?
Here's your Metro Weather Call forecast for Halifax and the surrounding area for this Monday, February the 11th. I didn't even know what day it was. For tonight, clear, becoming partly cloudy this evening. Winds gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour. Low of minus 14 with a wind chill near minus 23. On Tuesday, sunny, increasing cloudiness in the afternoon. High of minus 4, wind chill at minus 22 in the morning, and then minus 6 in the afternoon. UV index reading at 2, which is in the low category. On Tuesday night, mainly cloudy with amounts to 4 centimeters of snow. Low of minus 8, wind chill at minus 7 in the evening, and then minus 16 overnight. Wednesday, snow or rain, high of 4 and a low of minus 2. Thursday, high of 2 and a low of minus 1. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you're looking at highs of 4, 3, and 1, and lows of 2 right across the board. For more weather information, log on to weather.gc.ca. Current temperature outside the studios of CKDU. It is minus 8 degrees Celsius. Wind chill at minus 16. The barometric pressure reading at 101.8 kilopascals and rising. That's your Metro Weather Call forecast, and now stay tuned for your community news.
Here is the news, the latest news.
Some of your community news. This is African Heritage Month, and as part of African Heritage Month, the Library of Halifax Central Library screens Steven Spielberg's spin on Alice Walker's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. That also marks the screen debut of Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey. The Color Purple, which is going to be shown on Tuesday, February 12th at 6 p.m. at the Halifax Central Library, 5440 Spring Garden Road. For more information, call 902-490-5700. CKDU is always looking for new volunteers. If you're interested in music or spoken word programming, come on up. If you always want to know the technical aspects of radio, we have lots for you to learn. If you're more behind-the-scenes personality, there's research, music reviewing, and music production to do. CKDU is located on the 4th floor of the Dalhousie Student Union Building. The address is 6136 University Avenue, and our website's ckdu.ca. And continuing on with African Heritage Month, Lynn Jones' African-Canadian Diaspora Heritage Collection is going to be shown at St. Mary's University, 923 Roby Street, Halifax. To mark the African Heritage Month, St. Mary's presents this panel that highlights current research on the Lynn Jones African-Canadian and Diaspora Heritage Collection at St. Mary's University. That's Tuesday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m., 923 Roby Street in Halifax. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your community news.
You're listening to The Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen on 88.1 CKDU Halifax.
Hey everyone.
I wish I could go traveling again. It feels like the summer will never end. And I've had such good offers from several of my friends. I wish I could go traveling again. I want to sit in my shade, sipping my latte beneath the awning of a famous cafe, jet-lagged and with our luggage gone astray. I wish I could go traveling again. I want a waiter to give us a reprimand in a language neither of us understand, while we argue about the customs of the land. I wish I could go traveling again. I want to sit in traffic, anxious about our plane, while your blasé comments drive me half insane. I wanna dash for shelter with you through the tropical rain. I wish I could go traveling again. I wanna be awakened by a faulty fire alarm in an overpriced hotel devoid of charm, then fall asleep again back in your arms. I wish I could go traveling again, but how can I ever go traveling again when I know I'll just keep remembering again, when I know I'll just be gathering again reminders to break my go traveling again. It feels like this summer will never end, and I've had such good offers from several of my friends. I wish I could go traveling again.
Stacey Kent and Breakfast on the Morning Tram. That was an album that she recorded with Kaizu Ishiguro doing the lyrics, and Jim Tomlinson is her husband who does all the instrumentations behind and arranging. Stacey Kent spends half of her time in Arizona and then another half of her time in London, England, and she records in Europe and brings a lot of great stuff released on disc on the Verve label. It used to be on the Blue Note, and various other. Candid label was another one, the British label that was carried on early in her career. I wish I could go traveling again. Just a wonderful, sounds like a standard, but it isn't a standard, a modern standard if you want to call it that. It's 12 minutes past 7 p.m. I'm Charles Hsuen. This is the swing arrangement right here on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax. We've been doing this program now for 19 years we're on our 19th season here on CKDU. And pretty much more or less on this time slot on Monday evenings. We had a couple of years that we were on Friday and Saturday days, and then we moved back to our old home here on Monday evenings. Time now for Mike Harriott. Here's another Torontonian who just plays every instrument in the band. Literally. He played all the trumpets and all the horns and did the rhythm section, and this is his album called Isn't Life Grand in 2016, and this is the title track right here on Swing Arrangement. Mike Harriott from his album Isn't Life Grand. He played every instrument. I like that tune very much because my mentor, Bill Thomas, who is now the head of music at York University in Toronto, I listened to this on the radio, and it just happened to be playing, and I messaged his wife and told his wife to please pass this tune along because it reminded so much of him, and it turns as though Mike Harriott was a student of my mentor, Bill Thomas. So that explains sort of the chord structure and the way of how this great band sounded. We're going to continue on sounds with Vince Guaraldi. This is the latter part of Vince Guaraldi with the electric harpsichord. So many of you know Vince Guaraldi from A Charlie Brown Christmas every year, which was in 1965. But as the 60s rolled around, Vince Guaraldi decided to funk it up a little bit with some interesting psychedelic instruments. And this is of no exception. He takes his old repertoire of the Peanuts theme and he updates it with electric harpsichord and various other electric instruments. From the album Oh Good Grief, which was his only album that he recorded for Warner Brothers before he passed away a number of years later, this is called The Red Baron. Here's Vince Guaraldi and his trio. Vince Guaraldi and his trio, and that is a latter part of Vince Guaraldi's career, his last album that he recorded of jazz, and that was The Red Baron. Well, our theme's fading away, or fading up, which means it's time for me to say goodnight for another edition of The Swing Arrangement. Pirate Radio is up next, and your classic Monday night radio lineup here on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax. By the way, if you want to watch and listen to this program again, you can do so on twitch.tv/CHSUEN, and you can find a rebroadcast of this program, or you can go to YouTube Live and click on Charles Hsuen and the date, February 11th, 2019. I'll be back again next week, same time, same station, till I speak with you again. I'm Charles Hsuen. Thank you for letting me broadcast for you. Good night, everyone.